Hi friends, here we are going to present our seminar on business research methods. This seminar mainly deals with the following topics. First one is problems and limitations of content analysis handled by Dilna NK. Data processing and editing handled by Nijisha Krishnan. Editing secondary data handled by Nirosha Krishnan. And classification handled by Priyeshma. The first topic is problems and limitations of content analysis. Before discussing about this topic, we may have to consider the meaning of content analysis. Content analysis is a technique of research for making inferences by objectively and systematically identifying specified characteristics of contents of document. It is a method of data collection and analysis. It is a device of classifying research data according to the purpose of study. The major limitations or problems of content analysis are: the first one is, in content analysis, methods are regarded as more important than the content itself, thereby loses the meaning of content analysis. The second one is, content analysis overemphasizes the need of quantification. Quantification is not always feasible objective. Third one is, content analysis requires sampling, but sampling may not be perfect in many situations. The next one is, different communications explain a problem with different criteria. Which one of them is more relevant cannot be known in content analysis. Another limitation is that categorization is the basis of content analysis, but due to imperfect definition of a category, categorization remains incomplete. The final limitation is that the information contained in a communication is qualitative. This cannot be converted into quantitative data in many cases. With this, the first topic is over. Next, we are move on to our second topic, that is data processing and editing. Data processing. Data processing is conducted for making scientific study and for ensuring that all the data are collected for making comparison and analysis between data. It is a crucial stage in research. The below picture says that data processing is the stage in between collection of data and their analysis and interpretation. Data processing consists of editing, coding, classification and tabulation. Editing. Editing is the first stage in data processing. It is a routine work conducted in research process. It is conducted to ensure that all relevant data are included and irrelevant data are excluded. It helps to identify the errors and correct them as far as possible. The editing can be field editing, central or office editing. Field editing is conducted to complete the data which are in illegible or unreadable form. Central editing is conducted to identify and correct the errors in data. For example, entry of data in wrong place. With this, the second topic is also over. Next, we are move on to our third topic, that is editing secondary data. Editing is the process of examining the data to detect the errors and omissions and to correct them as far as possible. Statistical materials obtained from secondary sources not always as reliable as those from the primary source. Therefore, to make them fit for analysis and interpretation, they should be edited by the investigator. Errors and irregularities in the secondary data are to be removed in the editing stage. In editing stage, suitability Adequacy and reliability of secondary data are to be examined. The secondary data are those collected by others. As such, the following points should be borne in mind while editing secondary data. The first one is type and purpose of the institution that published the data. Second one is method used for collecting the data. Object and scope of the investigation and its nature. Time when the investigation was carried on. Ability, skill and integrity of the investigator. Definition of the statistical units. And the final one is degree of accuracy applied in the collection of data. If these points are satisfactory, the secondary data can be used. The third topic is also over. Next we are move on to our final topic, that is classification. Classification is one of the stage in data processing. The meaning of classification is that the process of arranging data in groups or classes according to resemblance and similarities is technically called classification. Thus, by classification, we try to form groups of homogeneous character. Therefore, in classification of data, units having common characteristics are placed in one class, and the whole data are thus divided into a number of classes. Facts in one class differ from those of another class with respect to some characteristics possessed by them. These characteristics form the basis of classification. When the data are classified, they give a summary of the whole information. So, classification is a process of summarizing the data. Objects of classification. The first one is to simplify the complexities of the collected data. Classification eliminates the unnecessary details and arranges the required information in simple, brief and understandable manner. Second one is to bring out the points of similarity of the various items. Classification brings out clarity the points of similarity and dissimilarity of the data so that they can be easily grasped. Third one is to facilitate comparison. Classification of data enables to make comparison and draw inferences. The results of an examination when classified into first, second, third and failed classes on the basis of the marks, comparison become easy. Fourth one is to bring out relationship. Classification helps in finding out the causes and effect relation in the data. The final one is to prepare basis for tabulation. Tabulation is the next stage of classification, and unclassified data cannot be presented in tables. So this topic is also over. So in this seminar, we are mainly concentrated on 4 important topics related to business research methods. They are problems and limitations of content analysis, data processing and editing, editing secondary data and classification. So thank you Abbas sir for giving us this wonderful opportunity.